Welcome to Reddit Revenge Stories. Did you know over 90% of people watch these videos but don't subscribe? If you enjoy stories of justice and payback, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to like the video if you're ready for today's story. Let's get to the story. Life, they say, is a collection of moments, some joyous, some painful, others that simply pass unnoticed. As for me, I believed my life was settled comfortably in a sweet balance of trust and companionship. My wife, Amanda, and I had shared nearly a decade together. We met in college, survived early struggles, laughed our way through tight budgets, and together we built what we thought was a rock-solid marriage. But life has its ways of surprising you, often without warning. The first indication came subtly. Amanda had always been meticulous, organized, and punctual. Gradually, her patterns began shifting. Her working hours extended. Frequent late-night meetings and whispered phone calls became commonplace. At first, I didn't think much of it. She had recently earned a promotion at her marketing firm, and it made sense she'd be busier. But my intuition gnawed at me. Something felt off. One evening, she came home visibly tired and went straight to bed, barely saying hello. This had become more frequent, but tonight, something urged me to notice more clearly. As she lay sleeping, I looked at her phone resting on the table, the screen occasionally lighting up with silent notifications. It was unusual for her to silence her notifications. She'd always insisted on staying accessible due to her job. My curiosity, or perhaps my dread, got the better of me. Picking up her phone felt wrong, like I was breaching sacred trust. Yet I couldn't shake the nagging sense something wasn't right. With heavy hesitation, I unlocked her phone, and there, plain as day, were messages from someone labeled simply as Alex. They were benign at first glance, but a deeper reading revealed more intimate undertones. Phrases like, "can't wait for our next meeting," and "thinking about you" resonated differently. I felt as if someone had knocked the air out of my lungs. Questions flooded my mind. Who was Alex? Was this innocent or something deeper? Putting her phone back carefully, my heart pounded with confusion and fear. Sleep eluded me that night, my mind replaying snippets of the past months, hunting for clues I might have missed. Over the next few days, I wrestled with how to approach her. Should I confront Amanda directly, ask casually about Alex, or gather more evidence? The weight of suspicion became unbearable. Finally, I decided to observe quietly. I needed proof beyond ambiguous messages. The following week, Amanda announced she'd be working late again. This time, I was prepared. After she left, I waited 10 minutes and quietly drove to her workplace. I sat in my car, feeling ridiculous yet determined to clear my doubts. When Amanda exited her office building, it wasn't alone. A tall, well-dressed man walked beside her, laughing comfortably as they headed toward a cozy cafe nearby. My stomach churned. This was Alex. There was no mistaking the intimacy of their interaction. The way she touched his arm, how they laughed as if they shared secrets. I watched silently from my car, disbelief turning into an ache of betrayal. My mind raced through emotions, anger, sadness, and confusion. I wondered if this was just a misguided friendship. Perhaps I was jumping to conclusions. But when they left the cafe, Alex's hand lingered on Amanda's back in a gesture that spoke louder than words. Unable to watch any longer, I drove home, my mind numb, my emotions in turmoil. That evening, Amanda came home cheerful, smiling, completely oblivious to my inner torment. I stared at her, searching her eyes for guilt, remorse, anything. But she just looked happy, carefree, perhaps happier than she had seemed in a long time. I questioned whether I had missed something in our marriage, something Amanda needed that I hadn't provided. Yet nothing justified the betrayal I felt burning deep inside. Days passed slowly, and I lived in a haze, pretending normalcy while quietly gathering my thoughts. I decided to confront Amanda soon, but carefully. I needed clarity without rash accusations. The idea of losing her terrified me, but living a lie felt worse. Eventually, one quiet Saturday morning with coffee in hand, I mustered the courage to broach the topic. My voice was shaky, heart pounding as I asked, "Amanda, is there anything you feel we should talk about?" She seemed startled, perhaps sensing the seriousness of my tone. "Like what?" she replied cautiously. "About your work. About a guy named Alex. I finally blurted out, my heart racing painfully. She paled instantly, silence stretching between us. Her reaction confirmed my fears. "How do you know about Alex?" she whispered, eyes wide with panic. "I've seen enough," I replied quietly, maintaining composure despite my shaking hands. "I just need you to be honest with me, Amanda." Tears began streaming down her face. "It's not what you think," she said softly, voice cracking. Yet her tone indicated guilt more than innocence. I waited, giving her the chance to explain, hoping desperately there was a reasonable explanation that could save us. She explained, haltingly, how Alex had been her client initially. Friendly lunches evolved into personal meetings, which turned emotional. She swore nothing serious had occurred, but acknowledged a boundary had been crossed. Each word tore at my heart. Her honesty was appreciated, yet the pain of betrayal remained fresh. Trust, carefully built over years, shattered in moments. I felt hollow, lost. We agreed on taking space to figure out our next steps. Amanda moved temporarily to her sister's house, giving us time apart to process our feelings. The emptiness of our home without her was stark, and loneliness crept into my days. I questioned everything. Was our marriage salvageable, or was this the definitive end of our chapter? Was forgiveness possible after betrayal? Amid this turmoil, I resolved one thing. I needed clarity, honesty, and above all, respect. No matter the pain, I wouldn't allow bitterness to consume me. I would seek resolution, understanding that healing, whether together or apart, had become necessary. As the days stretched onward, I pondered deeply about love, forgiveness, and the strength required to face such emotional upheaval. My journey had just begun, marked by this betrayal, yet leading toward the possibility of a renewed understanding of myself and the woman I'd chosen to share my life with. Days slowly turned into weeks, each one etched with the sharp sting of loneliness. Amanda's temporary absence, intended for clarity, instead magnified the ache within our home. Every corner echoed with her laughter, her presence lingering like a ghost from happier times. Yet despite the pain, I knew this period of separation was essential. During those solitary days, my thoughts oscillated between bitterness and forgiveness. I found myself often reliving our early years, the innocence of college days, late-night study sessions that turned into impromptu dates, long drives with no destination, and quiet evenings curled up watching movies. Memories that once filled me with joy now felt tainted, overshadowed by betrayal. One evening, in a moment of overwhelming solitude, I reached out to an old friend, Mark. He was a sensible man, calm and level-headed, qualities I desperately needed. Sitting across from me in a small diner, sipping coffee, he listened patiently as I recounted the entire saga, never interrupting, simply absorbing each painful detail. When I finished, Mark was silent for a moment, stirring his coffee thoughtfully. "Have you asked yourself what you truly want? Beyond this hurt?" he finally asked gently. I stared blankly into my cup, realizing I'd been so consumed by my pain. I'd never clearly defined what healing or resolution meant to me. Did I genuinely want to save our marriage? Or was I clinging to familiar comfort? The question stayed with me long after we parted ways. I began journaling, a practice I'd abandoned years ago. Putting thoughts to paper became therapeutic. I wrote down everything, the anger, sadness, confusion, but also the love that, despite everything, stubbornly remained. A few days later, Amanda reached out, requesting we meet. I agreed hesitantly, unsure what to expect. We met at a neutral location, a quiet park we both loved. Amanda arrived, looking fragile, hesitant, yet composed. We sat silently for a moment, the distant sound of birds filling the awkward void. "I've done a lot of reflecting," Amanda began softly, breaking the silence. "I realize I've hurt you deeply, and I'm truly sorry. But I also discovered things about myself that I hadn't acknowledged for years." I listened quietly, trying to maintain emotional neutrality as she continued. Amanda revealed how, over the past few years, she'd begun feeling invisible. Not necessarily because of me, but from the relentless routine we'd both allowed our lives to become. Work, chores, and social obligations had gradually overshadowed our connection. Alex was an escape from monotony, she admitted candidly, her voice trembling. I never meant for it to hurt you, but I was selfish. Instead of addressing my feelings openly with you, I looked outward. And that's something I'll regret forever. Her honesty, though painful, was essential. For the first time, we communicated transparently, devoid of blame. Anger simmering quietly beneath the surface, but never erupting destructively. I found myself sharing my feelings as well, my own sense of inadequacy, the moments when I too felt distanced, wondering if I'd failed to notice signs of her unhappiness. This conversation, difficult as it was, became a turning point. It offered insight into the cracks in our relationship we had both neglected. Amanda expressed a sincere desire to reconcile, to rebuild what had been broken, yet understood if forgiveness was beyond reach. Over the next few weeks, we decided on counseling. Our therapist, Dr. Reynolds, provided an impartial and empathetic environment to address our unresolved conflicts. Session after session, we uncovered painful truths, learned deeper empathy, and slowly rebuilt trust. Each revelation, each moment of vulnerability was like cleansing wounds, painful but necessary. However, rebuilding trust wasn't straightforward. Moments of doubt lingered. I grappled with suspicion whenever Amanda's phone buzzed or if she was unexpectedly late. Amanda, on her part, accepted these moments graciously, proving through consistent actions her commitment to repair the trust she'd damaged. Despite our progress, I remained cautious. The memory of betrayal isn't easily forgotten, nor should it be. It served as a powerful reminder of vulnerability and the importance of communication. Love, as I learned, wasn't just about happy moments. It was also about navigating storms together, weathering pain with dignity and growing from it. One evening, after months of counseling and introspection, I asked Amanda if she was genuinely happy with our progress. Her answer was immediate and clear. I've never been more certain about us, she replied, her eyes reflecting sincerity. I've seen sides of myself, and you, that I took for granted. I want us to build something stronger, not just return to what we had. Her words resonated deeply. Our journey, though born of pain, was gradually becoming transformative. I learned to cherish moments again. The quiet breakfasts, the long conversations, even disagreements, because now they felt genuine, unfiltered, and honest. During one counseling session, Dr. Reynolds suggested an exercise, writing letters expressing our feelings openly and honestly. That night, alone in my study, I wrote everything I'd struggled to articulate verbally. My letter captured my anguish, the hurt of betrayal, but also my enduring love for Amanda and my willingness to move forward genuinely. Amanda, too, wrote her letter revealing profound regret, deep appreciation for my patience, and her determination to regain my trust and respect. When we exchanged letters, reading hers felt like unlocking a hidden part of Amanda's heart. The sincerity of her words touched me profoundly, reinforcing my decision to genuinely forgive. Not because it was easy or convenient, but because the love we still shared deserved another chance. Our marriage wasn't magically fixed overnight. It required daily effort, humility, and open dialogue. There were setbacks, emotional waves of doubt and insecurity. But each challenge brought deeper understanding and resilience. The experience also reshaped my view of life and relationships profoundly. It taught me that love isn't static. It evolves, demands attention, and flourishes only when genuinely nurtured. Through the struggle, I gained insight into my emotional depth, realizing the strength required to forgive genuinely, without harboring hidden resentment. It wasn't weakness, it was courage, an acceptance of vulnerability, acknowledging that the pain was real, yet choosing love and healing over perpetual hurt. As Amanda and I worked to mend our relationship, something transformative occurred. Our bond became more authentic, rooted deeply in honesty and mutual respect. Every step forward felt earned, solidified by the genuine desire to rebuild, not simply patch the broken pieces superficially. Gradually, our laughter returned, not out of forced normalcy, but genuine joy, derived from the knowledge we'd both fought hard to reclaim our marriage. Friends noticed the change in us, often commenting that we seemed more connected, more genuine than before. Yet, even amidst this progress, I occasionally felt shadows of insecurity lingering. Healing wasn't linear, it involved setbacks and victories. each requiring patience and resilience. But now each setback was faced together, openly addressed rather than silently ignored. I realized forgiveness wasn't a single decision. It was a continuous journey, demanding ongoing emotional commitment, transparency, and mutual growth. Our marriage, born anew from the ashes of betrayal, was slowly blossoming into something richer, deeper, and profoundly real. I had learned a vital lesson through this painful experience. Love, in its truest form, endures not only because of happy moments, but because of how we handle the darkest days together. Our story wasn't over yet, but I now faced the future with hope rather than fear. What once felt like the end had become a powerful new beginning. Months passed, and slowly, Amanda and I rediscovered peace in our shared lives. Our days became brighter, built upon transparency and mutual respect. We consciously chose openness over silence, honesty over discomfort. But true healing wasn't complete until I confronted the lingering shadow of Alex. While Amanda assured me he'd moved to another city, that he was no longer part of her life, closure felt incomplete without directly addressing him. I didn't seek confrontation, just clarity. One evening, with Amanda's understanding and support, I reached out to Alex through social media requesting a brief meeting. To my surprise, he agreed without hesitation. We met in a quiet coffee shop, neutral ground. Alex looked nervous, remorseful even. He immediately began apologizing, expressing genuine regret. "I crossed boundaries and I'm deeply sorry for my part in causing pain to both of you," he said sincerely. His apology felt genuine, and strangely enough, I didn't feel anger toward him. Instead, relief washed over me, a sense of closure I'd needed to finally move forward. Leaving the cafe, I felt lighter, ready to genuinely embrace our new beginning. Amanda and I continued therapy, growing stronger, more self-aware, committed to never repeating past mistakes. One quiet evening, months later, Amanda handed me a small box. Opening it, I found two simple silver rings engraved with a single word: renewed. "This represents us," Amanda whispered softly. "Our past can't change, but our future can. Let's keep choosing each other." Tears filled my eyes. At that moment, forgiveness felt complete. Not forgotten, but genuinely resolved. Our scars remained, reminders of our resilience and dedication. Over time, our marriage flourished, deepened by honesty and unwavering love. We traveled, explored new hobbies, and even shared our journey to help others navigating similar struggles. Through vulnerability, we found strength, wisdom, and deeper appreciation for one another. In the end, our painful past led to the profound realization that love isn't flawless. It's beautifully human, imperfect, yet endlessly hopeful. Amanda and I discovered that the greatest strength wasn't in never falling, but in choosing, again and again, to stand together and move forward, united by genuine forgiveness and unbreakable trust. Our marriage survived, transformed, stronger than ever, proving that love, when truly tested, can indeed conquer all.